All right. Well, again, good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. My name is Scott Benjamin, and I oversee sales and marketing for FunSpot Manufacturing. Very glad that you have taken some time out of your day to join us. We're on week 9 of what started out to be, we're not sure what it was started out to be other than a gathering place of thoughts and ideas and community, and has just proven to expand and grow week over week. And so we're excited about that. Thank you for being a part of that. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. Hope that you will enjoy it. Today we have invited Sheryl Bindelglass to come talk with us about sales. We had a really great conversation last Tuesday about parks that have opened up, what they're experiencing. And as more and more parks opened up this past weekend and this week, we got to begin to look a little farther down the road and say, what do sales look like? Well, especially what do group sales look like, which are a big part of normal summer sales, and what does the fall begin to look like? And so Sheryl and I have met a couple of years ago, and I thought of no better person than to bring to talk to us than her. So I'm just gonna kick the microphone over to Sheryl and let her continue her introduction and talk to us. So Sheryl, welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, Scott, thank you so much for inviting me. You know that this group is one of my favorite groups, and no, I don't say that to every group. This is an amazing association filled with lots of trampoline, fun, attractions, and adventure parks. I think to get this started, this might be a little bit different than some of your other town halls, and we're just going to throw it out to the audience for a couple questions and get everybody rocking and rolling. I want to make sure everybody knows that this is being recorded, so we hopefully have their permission. If not, please put in the chat box, hey Scott, I'm under witness protection. I cannot be on this Zoom call. So see, I got a couple of smiles even from that. We want to make sure that we give you all the information that you need. So before we get started and kick off the program, Al, can you possibly help me out here? I want to know what's important to your group today. Not last week, but what is the most important thing today? So we're going to ask everybody to take a look at this list. And if there's a topic that, you just said, Sheryl, I've been here the last 8 weeks. I don't want to hear anything else about cleaning, but I do want to know, how can I make more money? I only want you to select one of these topics, because the topics that are the most popular are the ones that we will spend the most time on. So if you're new to Zoom, there's a chat box, and it's this cute little circle bubble at the bottom. Click on that and put in what is the most important topic to you today. We're not saying that it's not going to be important next week, but I see, wow, lots of twos. There's a 4, which means ways to help us host better birthday parties. Ooh, steps for a successful opening. Hey, Deidre, what was that, 2 and 4? I like that they're being creative. Lots of 2s, another one with a 4. We'll give everybody a couple more seconds to put that in. And then when I count down from 3, 2, 1, we'll tell them to stop. Oh, and somebody went back and said, and also 4 and 5. Okay, and we're going to stop looking at those for 3, 2, 1. Perfect. We'll still let people comment if they come in late. But now we have a better idea that they really wanted number 2 or so. I'll let Al remind me of those when we get going. Can we have a little bit of fun since we're in the fun business? Are you ready, Scott?
Ready.
In the chat box, I want everyone to put their company and how far away from Georgia they are. So put whether you're in the US, in Alabama, if you're in, we want to see who's the furthest person from Georgia.
Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia is a little close. I'm going to let you take over because I'm
North Carolina, Kuwait. We got Kuwait. We got all right, Kansas. Well, man, it is so cool to see so many walks of life. Boulder, Finland.
So Al, as they're doing that,
yeah,
they're in Georgia.
Yeah.
I think they're just like a hand.
However, North Carolina in some parts is closer to where we are than Stream Hop. Where in Georgia, Wendy, are you? South Carolina?
He's in Johns Creek.
We're in
Okay.
Johns Creek, yes.
Okay, that's pretty close.
All right, so here's the tough part for Al.
Mm-hmm.
Al, who is the closest to your location right now?
Well, Fearless Adventure Park. What part of North Carolina?
Let's see if they'll respond in the chat.
Let's see here. Charlotte. I'm gonna say that Johns Creek is the closest to us.
It is. Yep.
Yeah.
It is? Okay, so,
Wendy.
and make sure that you mark that down. They
Okay.
are giving a prize for being the closest park to your manufacturing center. And now,
Wow.
a tougher one. Who is the furthest from you? And by the way, I'm geographically challenged, so I'm throwing it to Al, whether it was Kuwait,
Oh
whether
boy.
it was
I went to
boy.
art school, not smart school. Come on. Let's see here. I saw Kuwait. Let me see here. Great. I saw Finland. Scott.
It's got to be Kuwait.
I would think so.
Yeah.
That's the first. Poland. Still thinking.
Okay, wait, we'll help you out here. If there are 2 or 3, you can have somebody on your staff Google, and then we'll come back and figure out who's the furthest. How's that?
Yeah.
That's good.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Take
Yeah.
the pressure off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we've had a little bit of fun. I know everyone knows how to use. Oh, somebody said Kuwait, of course. Thank you for that help. We will send you a prize via email, not that you have to sit there and wait for snail mail to get there. But thank you for participating. And since I love to give prizes and have everything fun, for those who stay at the very end, there will be a special bonus. Woohoo! So everybody, there's a reaction button on the bottom. You see it's a little smiley face. Click on that reaction button so we know that you thought that that's great, that if you stay, thumbs up, that you get a prize at the end. Awesome.
So Kuwait is the winner with over 7,000 miles away from us. So the rest
Wow.
were in the 4,000 to 3,000 range. So
All right.
Okay.
Monira.
Well, I thank everybody. It's really an honor to be here. And my job is to give you as much information in the next 54 minutes as possible. Your chat box is always available. If you have a question, please don't wait till the end, because you'll sit there and say, what was that question? As soon as you have the question, type it in the chat box, and we promise to get any and all questions. And Al, do you want to tell them that there's also a prize for the best question? Go
best
for
question, best question gets a prize as well. I mean, I feel like I'm on Oprah today, but it's the Sheryl
it.
show.
And you win a prize.
Yeah, and you get a prize. So it's fun. It's kind of fun.
Oh, I like playing the role of Oprah for today. Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, you said that, what were the top 2 most popular? Number 2 and 4?
I would say 2 and 4, and maybe I think, 2 and 4, and maybe 5 is the third. So I would say 2 and 4, and then 3 after
Okay.
that.
Awesome. So number 2 is make more money before and after we reopen. So I'm going to dive right into that. I believe that we are sitting back and saying, we're ready for our reopening, whether you're opened in the last 2 weeks or you have to wait for another month or 2. And most owners that I talk to say, but everybody's going to come running into our park. Everybody's been stuck at home. They can't wait to come have fun. They can't wait to just get their kids out from underneath their feet. While that may be true, they are still very, very slow from all the parks I've talked to. And there, from the last few weeks, I'd say there are about 40 or 50 parks that said, wow, we thought we'd have double the attendance that we had. We thought we would have more birthday party calls. We thought we would have more group calls. It's just not that fast. Your job, number 1, is to earn their trust. That's easy because you're going to put out videos about how clean you are and how safe. But what you can't get back really quick is everybody's trust in getting out of their house and going places. They may be okay to go to the food market because they need to do that, but they may not be so excited to run back in until they say, hey, let me see if a couple of other people go, and if they don't get sick, then maybe I'll go. I want people to think about a light switch. So when this started, we took our light switch and we flipped it off. We can't just go back to that same light switch and flip it back. It's not an on-off, it's more of a dimmer switch. The dimmer switch slowly gets turned. So my question to you is, what are you going to do to generate extra income from now until when you reopen, and then once you reopen? In the chat box, please put whether you're open or waiting to open, so we can see what percentage are open now, whether it's the last week or two or this coming week, or whether it's everybody's still on hold or the majority. So waiting to open.
A lot of waiting to opens, a few opens. Opened 4 days ago, waiting to open hopefully June 26th from Megan. Opening next week from Wendy. Oh, very good. Right down the street from you. I might have to come in and high five you. Ramping up on projects with clients getting ready. Open last week, Scott Myers, Bryant Severance, 2 open, 1 waiting. We have been open for 2 weeks, Jason Hardy says. And Sergio says, oh man, closed until September. Hope to open June 26th, Shelley. Sky Zone in Massachusetts opens July 6th. Well, that's 4th of July area, so that should be good.
All right, so that gives us a really good handle that it's less 50-50. It's really much heavier on waiting. There are things you can do while you're waiting to generate revenue. You have to think of your business as a totally different business. It's no longer just whatever you originally dreamed and built. You need to start thinking, what else can we do? And I hate to use the word, how can we pivot? But how are you going to create revenue even when you're closed? So have you tried doing a gift card sale? And not just a, hey, buy our gift cards for when we reopen, but do it with a social responsibility. Buy a gift card and we'll give another gift card to the frontline people. Or buy a gift card and we'll donate it to the hospital front workers. Something to get them to say, okay, this is really good. My friend Eric just typed in, you can do it with food drives.
Yeah.
For every gift card you donate, $5. Oh my gosh, did I tell you I was turning off all my phones? I'm so sorry. I'll just one phone. Bound to happen. Wait, that was Al calling me. Hold on, Al, did you need?
Yeah.
So let's think about how we can do our gift cards and get that to work. You can even say that for every gift card you purchase, we're going to also give a donation to our employees who are not working right now. It's what are you doing that's making people say, wow, that's really nice of them. But the other spin and the other bonus is the media loves this. The media loves to hear that you're giving back to the community. I'm guessing a lot of the trampoline parks have added some arcades and some redemption maybe. If you have an arcade, please put in the chat box yes. I want to see if there are a couple that have it. Yes.
Yeah, it's lighting up.
Coming in. That's great. So you've got lots of toys and prizes sitting in your redemption. Now's a perfect time to create a fun box. And all a fun box is are several items from your redemption, put in a cute little bag if you have your own little swag bags or if you have drawstring bags. If not, just go and get a color bag that matches your facility and stick a label on with your name. And let parents know, hey, if your kids need to have a break and you want to give them something cool and fun, we're selling these. And when you buy it, we're going to give you a free pass to come jump when we reopen. So let's say the swag bag was worth $20 and it only cost you $5 of merchandise. You're doing this as kind of a bounce back to get people into your park. Some of the simplest things that are sitting around, lots of us have food and beverage. Well, maybe a cafe, maybe a snack bar. I'll take it down low. The ability to have food products. You can promote that while we're not ready to reopen, we know that your kids need an afternoon snack. We know that the people in your office who are working remote would love to have a little coffee break, and we'll provide the snacks. So you don't have to deliver them or anything else. You can set up an arrangement with these corporations and say, we will drop off 50 boxes, whether it's a lunch box, a dinner box, or a fun pack for your remote employees. Just have them stop by and pick it up. Okay, so by a show of hands, physical like hands, so far, how are we doing? Do we like it? Hands up. I don't see the hands all rushing up. I see 1, 2, oh, there's thumbs up. I'll take thumbs up. Okay, Robin did this. He was like really, really low. I could barely see it. It's all good. These are things that I'm just throwing out as idea sparks. I will tell people all the time, what works in Kuwait may not work in Florida. What works in Orlando may not work in California. What works in California may not work in Utah. My job is to throw out these ideas. Your job is to take the idea, mold it, twist it, make it fit for your park. So to me, nothing is absolute that will say, hey, everybody's got to sell, make and take pizzas. But if pizza is one of your favorite items that you sell at your cafe or snack bar, you can easily box up a pizza and say to the kids on your Facebook, we're running a contest. Whose mom's the worst cook? And you know these kids are not going to go that crazy. Or who wants to have the best pizza? And let them answer it, and then whoever wins would win dinner for 4 or 6. But then all the other people you can say, hey, we want to offer you a bounce back coupon. We want you to come pick up your make and take pizza for, it was originally $19.99, now you can have it for $15. Simple little things like that to make extra revenue. You also want to start thinking, when I do open, are there any packages that I can put together? Something totally different, whether it's with a partner, a different store, whether it's with a bakery, whether it's with a music shop, whatever it's with, but partner with people to put together a totally different package. Let's have you go into the chat box at this moment and tell us what idea you've heard about in any of the last 8 sessions here or any place else that you think could generate money right now. And we'll give you, let's start it immediately. Ready, set, go. Now you can check that chat box for all these amazing ideas. Otherwise, they're going to sit there and say, I've got nothing. Sheryl, keep going.
I'm not seeing anything. $50 gift cards for $25.
Okay.
So that's Shelly.
Thank you
out there.
very much.
Thank you. Another an idea I had, Sheryl wanted to throw out there is, and what do you think about this $100 card for $75? Mike Thomas. What if you had a competition to design a new shirt or a new poster or something like that, and give away prizes as far as like admittance to the park or something like that? How would that work out?
I love it. And first of all, I want to go back. There are 3 people who are saying, hey, we're doing 50% off gift cards. We're doing buy 75, get 100, or buy 100, get 125. Those are all great and good. But let's go to your t-shirt idea. I think kids, if it's a cool t-shirt, love t-shirts. So, and I like the fact that someone just posted selling merchandise and doing curb
service for pickup. Initial discount on monthly memberships as well, Brian Severance.
That's another good one on your memberships. But let's go to your cool t-shirt idea. We love t-shirt contests because when you get the community involved, they have more ownership and buy-in, and they get their friends to help vote for their t-shirt. I will tell you from a lesson I learned, make sure you put a little asterisk that all t-shirts must be PG rated.
Yeah.
This is you're laughing.
Yeah.
This is a family fun center. We had somebody post a picture that we had to have removed very quickly. They thought it was super cool, but we saw the hidden underline. But t-shirts are an awesome thing, even if you've got a ton of inventory. Right now, I would post a contest online saying, hey, we're going to pick a block every week. 10 homes, and we're going to go do a t-shirt toss. And when we throw those t-shirts at your home, one of the t-shirts is going to have a free month jump. So people are going to get psyched and hyped, and they really want to do it. For those of you who have mascots, great marketing opportunity. If you're not going to do a t-shirt toss, and this is not necessarily a quote money maker, but I will tell you how it helps the community. You can take those t-shirts and just tuck them away for a little bit. But you can have your mascot go out and do a dance off. And people can vote. If they pick your block, the mascot comes socially distant, blast the music, and see what kids are going to dance with your mascot. But to get their chance of getting a greater chance of the mascot coming to their block, I would say to them, hey, if you donate $10 to the food bank, we'll bring our mascot to you, and the block that has the most money donated gets the mascot to come that night. So just fun little things. I think I saw something pop up, Alan.
Yeah, Eric said the membership idea, maybe buy one for yourself and gift one to a friend. This would let you, your existing guest base, help you directly reach out to new leads of people they believe may like you as well. On the mascots, I have seen people doing characters on web chats now too. And Brian added to that. I like that. Or give one free month to the friend of the person buying a membership. And Robin, social media post, tag a photo of yourself in the park, and your next visit will be 50% off.
Those are all phenomenal, great ideas. Thank you all for participating. That's what we're all about. And I love the fact that in the park is key.
Yeah.
You want to see, hey, show us how much fun you had. Show us what we're doing. So we're really covering all the ways that you can make some extra money. And I'm going to tie this into the one that said about birthday parties. How many people are doing virtual birthday parties? And do you know what a virtual birthday party is? Let's start with that. By show of hands, do you know what a virtual party? Yes, if you know what a virtual birthday party is. Okay, there's some that don't.
Some say no. Yeah.
I think it's worth describing, Cheryl. Go ahead.
That's exactly it. So I didn't want to go over and people say, okay.
All right. So someone said that tried it and it didn't work.
Okay, so can that person come off mute and tell us how they tried it? So I can explain to
Sure.
I would try and switch the virtual. Go ahead. So we're opening the person up.
You are welcome,
Baby.
Let me see here. I've asked to unmute, but they may not want to. Oh, there we go.
Okay, that's all right. So,
there we go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry for the noise in the background, but it's already 8 here, so
Very
my
fine.
family is at home. Okay, to keep the long story short, so we ran quite a massive campaign on social media, Facebook, Instagram, that we are offering these virtual birthday parties. So there were we plan to send people the packages, and also offer them like an hour almost animation from the host of our trainers, our animators from our park. Full program, nicely prepared. And then what we did, we offered the first 10 for free to the people, and the rest like gradually kind of half price, and then the full price. And there was not a lot of people interested. So basically, I think we ran 10 or 12, and then we gave up because there was no interest in this kind of service.
Okay, perfect. Can you tell us where you're based out of?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Yes, where are you from?
I'm from Poland.
Okay. What is
in
it
Europe.
like right now in Poland?
You're asking about the status of COVID? Because the line is breaking, sorry.
Oh, sorry. How hot or cold is it in Poland?
The weather.
The weather.
The weather. I think it's right now it's 20 plus Celsius.
Okay. Anybody help me out there?
Do the math, Matt, Al.
Okay, we're gonna say it's not too hot, not too cold. We'll go with that. So
Poland is like
68.
It's like climate in New York, you know.
It's like
Okay,
68
perfect.
degrees. Yeah.
So some of the things that I've watched people say is in certain, and that's why I was asking, is it too hot there to have outdoor activities? When you did the virtual, what was included? Did you have a party host? And this way I can explain to everybody kind of what the package would look like. But a virtual party, you can even use your own Zoom account, have your whole team jump on, sing happy birthday to the child, make sure that you do a fun prize that you sent to their house. A virtual doesn't mean that it's just totally virtual. You can get 5 staff members together with big banners that they're holding, and they do a drive-by. So it's virtual, but kind of in person. I'm not sure that your package may not have had as much wow. It may have been too much work for a parent. So for those people who are thinking of doing a virtual party, you have to give them step 1, step 2, step 3. Here's how we do it. Here's what we're offering you. And I would take it to a 2-part experience. One is just a quick, simple virtual where your staff all sign a card, they hold it up and say happy birthday. The other is kind of what they were saying from the gentleman in Poland, that they also dropped off a box. That would be an add-on. So if you do birthday cakes, if you do cupcakes, you can do a lot of different add-ons. Please do not try. A friend of mine tried this. And if they're on the call, I'll be really embarrassed. But they said they would drop off goodie bags to every single home. And the parents said, great, we've got 24 kids. So they were dropping off at 24 driveways goodie bags. Then they were picking up birthday presents and bringing them back to the kids' house. So I think there are some creative ways. And at the end, I'm going to give you an extra bonus handout that will explain a little bit more on virtual and also what I call birthday in a box. The object is to make it as easy and as carefree for the parents. When you go to reopen, can you think about your park a little bit different? Consider renting some of your rooms. That's extra revenue. I know when I walk into parks, maybe 5 or 6, but if you can get businesses that don't want to go back and pay heavy-duty rent in the mall, can you partner with them and try and use your birthday party rooms as a positive way during the day? So I think we've covered a lot about generating extra revenue. What was the next item that we had on the top favorite one?
Let me see. We had 4 and 2 and then 3.
Okay. So the money we covered a little bit. If there are any questions, please post in the chat before we move on. Rent extra rooms for what? Oh, perfect question. Thank you for asking. So if there's a music school and they want a place to come and meet, if there's a parent-teacher organization and they need a room to meet, if there's a Girl Scout troop, I would give it to them for free just to get people to come into the park. If there's a local craft woman who wants to sell her crafts or have a place to teach a craft class, bring them in. Be creative. Have you seen Pinot and Paint? Anybody familiar with that? Basically, it's a business that brings 15 to 20 people together. There's an art teacher that shows them how to paint, and they bring their own wine. But they need a place because they may have lost their rent or they can't afford it. So those are the types of partnerships that we look for. We rented our lobby to a church that was displaced during the hurricane last year. Then that's awesome. Wendy, thank you. Mom clubs, homeschool groups, scout groups. You can find all sorts of people. So just try and be a little bit more creative in ways to generate some more money from those rooms. So Alistair, go ahead.
I was just going to say camps were mentioned last week quite a bit. So that seems to be a very popular idea.
So Here's a hidden secret about Sheryl. I came out of the camp industry.
No.
There's an American ACA, American Camp Association. They have phenomenal resources if you're thinking of hosting your own camp. You have got to get proper licensing, etc. If you're thinking of bringing camps in, that kind of crisscrosses with groups. I'm going to come back to that in just a little bit. But those are all great questions.
Also on the comments we have, Raina said, we rented our open space to a daycare that lost their space during a summer. And Sven, birthday parties after reopening, if the park is less frequented, how could underplayed structures or parts of the park be used for new party concepts? What would be ideal attractions in a park to build party concepts around?
Okay, great question. What was the first question before the birthday party one?
Oh, they were just saying that they rented their open space to a daycare that lost their space during a summer. So that was what Raina Gardner said. And
Perfect.
then
Okay.
mom workout groups look to go inside during the summer.
Excellent. You know, we went and found the most amazing yoga instructor for our facility, and we found a Pilates instructor that had a great following, and we let them come in and teach classes on a revenue share. It was great because while the mom was taking the classes, guess where the kids were? Playing. So we got extra revenue because of that instructor. So those are all great things. But I want to go back to the question about the birthday parties. How can you change your party packages? How can you reinvent them? And I will also say you're not going to be able to do as many parties as you used to do. When you used to have parties, we used to pack them in, one party after the next, after the next. Now you're going to need downtime to do a lot more cleaning. And I know this has been beat to death on a lot of the others, whether you use the foam, the spray. The simplest way, especially for the Nerf, the foam pits, and the party rooms, I think the easiest thing is really the UV lights. And those UV lights, if you shut the rooms and rotate them properly, you'll be able to clean those rooms in 5 minutes. When I first looked into it, they were saying 15, but now it's 5. If you need additional information on that, shoot me an email and I can get you in touch with the gentleman who has a reasonably priced package. Back to birthday parties. How are you going to change your party? Parties are going to be smaller. You're no longer going to be able to have 26 kids in one small room.
Thank goodness.
Oh, go ahead. What was that?
That was the old operator in me, sorry.
What did he say about that one, Mr.
He said,
Operator?
thank goodness. That was the old operator in him that was thinking that.
Yes, I remember all your party rooms, Scott.
Yes.
You love those party moms.
Yeah, we love it. Loved it.
Yeah, it's challenging though, because number one, you're not going to be able to have as many kids within that party room. So let's take Scott's old park for an example. His party rooms would hold typically 18, maybe 12.
Yeah, it would seat 12 kids, yeah.
12 kids. So now with a little social distancing, you might only be able to fit 4 kids in there. So I say, if you can't have those divider walls open up, find another spot in your park where you go back to the old school, everything old is new again, where you go back to more of a theater type atmosphere. So you can have rows of tables and you can have kids put an X on the spot. They can only sit if there's an X there, so that gives them that social distancing. So that's a change in your party setup. Finding an area where you've got it. Being more creative with how can we take that little group of kids and separate them even more. You know, are you going to say, you know what, we're going to eat now and then we're going to go jump? No way. We all know that's a bad scenario. We never want to feed the kids and then have them go jump. So you've got to dictate that party. What other attractions can you bring in? Can you use your party room as a different experience? Whether it's an arts and craft activity, whether it's a foam frenzy type where you spray foam on the kids. There are lots of cool different things that you can test out. So I think you need to figure out what is going to work best in your area. You don't want to find that you're doing something that everybody else is doing. I just caught Eric saying, hey, add some lights. Yes, you can definitely have some lights. It could be the perfect time to convert an area in your park to a super glow party. Everybody loves glow parties.
Yeah, another suggestion on there was Nerf shootouts. Eric and Miranda both were saying that Nerf shootouts are a big deal, especially in the college like areas. There are full-on Nerf leagues at colleges, so I'm upset I didn't go to college during those times. And also Eric was mentioning dance. That's where he said add some lights for dance. So.
Now, there's one park that's putting in a really cool dance floor, but the problem is keeping those kids a little bit socially distanced, at least in the beginning. It's very hard to have enough space, I think, but we can try a lot of different things. And every park has different space. You know, do you have a loft in your park that's not big? You could put up a really cool, 3/4 wall and have an activity up there instead of just everybody being on top of each other. So I think those are some ideas for birthday parties. I also want to reemphasize, even when you reopen, and I've talked to a couple of people who said, wow, we had 4 parties this weekend. And I said, how many would you have normally? And they said, on a good day, on a good weekend rather, 30. So can you actually make your numbers work if you only have 4 parties? Parties and groups are a big part of the revenue. And we've got to focus on how are we going to win them back. I think you're going to see some parents are saying, hey, we've gotten so used to staying inside. How about if we bring the party to them? If we say, hey, we've got this birthday to go, where we send you 2 party hosts, they serve the cake, they entertain the kids, do the Nerf if you want to take portable, do something that's different and fun that they can do. But your hostess that you send out have to be rock stars. They have to be amazing at entertaining. And that's where your training comes in. You're going to train them now that, hey, you're no longer just a party host that runs food. We need you to run the games and the activities. So how are we doing on questions so far? Anything coming in that we need to
Oh, no, we're all caught up.
We're all caught up. Perfect. So the next topic, anybody have anything else on birthday parties?
How many people are splitting up hour for open jump and birthday parties? Megan Golick says. And then Eric suggested pop-up tents are easy. I set one up for a 2-player VR station, and most events wouldn't need the equipment I work with. So pop-up tent, that's not bad.
Yeah, we like pop-up tents. We like pop-up events. Eric, thank you. I think you're just going for the prize.
yeah.
No, I noticed his name's coming up a couple times there.
I'll also say this: every local area has children's entertainment, and the libraries, for instance, they invest money into children's entertainment to where and right now in these circumstances, they're doing social distance concerts or events where the cars kind of line up like a drive-in movie theater, and they set it up to where you can tune in through your radio or whatever the case is, and a little stage in between all the cars. So might be something you can set up for your parking lot, like a parking lot event for the families. Everybody has a pretty big side of the building for most people anyway. Maybe even be able to get the rights to show a drive-in movie on the movie theater screen, something like that. So just ways to, just got to get creative and have fun with it.
Oh, that is so awesome. I love pop-up drive-in movies. I think it's such a cool concept. Everybody stays in their car. They're safe. It's not a problem. The one concern I have, and I've voiced this to several people, and Al, you just mentioned it, can you legally show that movie?
There are websites that you can go to, and if anybody's interested, you have my email from the stuff and whatnot. I'll be glad to send you the website. So that's not a problem. There are ways to get that. There are full-on agencies out there that can get you all the rights for it so that you're not in trouble. Another thing that came in right now is, can you please repeat the UV light point?
Absolutely. So we've all looked at everything from sprays to foggers to disinfectants to everything. If you have a foam pit, there's no way you're going to foam and clean all those cubes. You can toss them around and keep trying. We found that this UV light kit, which is the same UV lights used in hospitals, can disinfect and zap the microorganisms or whatever they are, so that it will sterilize your area completely in 5 minutes. The only problem that I tell people up front is you can't do this. Yes, it does work on ball pits because it will, anything that it can see, it can hit, it will clean. So you may have to rotate the balls and then do it again. I thought I heard it mentioned not good.
UV lights are not good for trampoline equipment.
So here's what I've heard from many people. If you're using the sprays and the foam and the fog, it will deteriorate the material faster. I have not read anything about the UV affecting the beds, but I know when we talked to some of the vendors, they said they'd prefer to have their equipment zapped with the UV than with all the foam and spray. Like the movie theaters are saying it'll ruin their seats. There are a lot of people, I'm not a UV expert or a foam or fog, but I just know that in the 5 people that I talked to, this was their preferred method. And like a couple of owners, they said, well, at least now I know I can get all the balls clean.
Yeah, we're not ready to say that UV is okay for our trampoline mats and pads. I'm not saying that won't evolve. It's definitely an evolving situation. We do have some good ideas around cleaning and suggestions that give kind of meet those CDC guidelines with different materials and products. So, but outside of doing a room, doing the foam in a foam pit, those kinds of things, other common areas, I can't see that that's a problem. But Sheryl, I think you said you have some links, so I think it's important for each of us to do our own investigation, and when we send the link at the end of the town hall, people can get in touch with you for more information.
Yeah, we'll put all the links in the email and on the website tomorrow. You'll get all of that information, so don't worry about that. There is a conversation going on in the comments about this. Luis and Bill were saying that UV deteriorates materials and textiles and harnesses. Then Luis came back to say, but you can treat them with anti-UV protectors. And then Eric is now offering up, my big concern with UV is, 1, is the product you are purchasing really what is advertised? 2, exposure time is often much longer than people think it is or is reasonable for turnover. Still has value as a hygiene theater.
Hygiene.
Hygiene. Okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't know if that was the name of the theater. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? I know we don't want to spend as much time on cleaning as somebody asked it, but I am not an expert. I'm just saying, look at all the options. If it were my own park, I'd definitely do a combo. I would do a certain amount for the pads, like you were saying, Scott. I would want my birthday party room zapped because these kids put their hands underneath every little nook and cranny. So it's up to everybody to do a little bit of research, but we will offer some more links. And I know I get people calling me probably 3 times a week asking, hey, where can I get this? Where can I get that? And I also think, do a combo just to show everyone that you're trying. Plus, I think that's the key. When somebody asked about the hygiene theater, that's so important that your staff are all cleaning, all wiping down, that you do that video release that shows everyone, hey, look, we clean this way and we clean this way. People need to know that we are there to protect them.
You can never be too clean at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's, because I know we have a little bit of time left. I'd love to move on to group sales if that's okay, but I want to hit 2 more if I can. Things about birthday parties.
Sure.
Well, okay. Number 1, we had this in our own park, and it came just as a fluke that kids would come in and say, oh, I can't have my party here because you're more outdoors. So we said, of course you can. We do half-year birthdays. So you can now start promoting half-year birthdays. Or, hey, did you miss your party because of COVID? We're doing a special makeup birthday party day.
Absolutely.
So let people who missed theirs, hey, make it up, have a second birthday, it's all good. So those are just two other things I thought were important. And you know what? We always talk about M&Ms, memorable moments. It's an important day for those kids, and some of them may not have had the best experience. So our job is to go and have fun. Okay, any questions before I move on now? We're good?
No, just one more comment about the UV. Most webbing material will have a UV protectant coating, but this can wear off over time and with use, and it does not prevent damage from long-term UV exposure, and that's from Bill Carlson. So thank you for all the information on UV.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Okay. The elephant in the room. Passionate about group sales, Scott? Oh, we have Scott. I said, am I passionate about group sales?
Passionate about group sales, so hit it hard.
Now, I wouldn't let him leave one night when he had this big camping trip. So I'm like, no, a couple more minutes of group sales. So let's talk about, and it is, a big thing now that a lot of camps are not happening. A lot of township programs aren't happening. The schools are having different breaks and they didn't take their trips. What can we do to win back group sales? The very first thing is you're not selling. You are helping. You can't, your group, I want to make sure that you hear this. No more push, sell. Think about who needs to have a group event. The first group that comes to my mind, I should throw it out to the group first. Let's do that. In the chat box, please list who you think needs to get out and come to your park. Okay, Eric says address the pain points.
Families of healthcare workers. So frontline workers, parents, frontliners. It's pretty good. I know military nights usually do really well at parks.
So they're still doing, and I'm glad you brought that up, Al. People are still being deployed. If you live in an area that has a military base or something, you can still do deployment parties. They still want to send off and say goodbye and thank you so very, very much. You can also think, wow, you know what? There are all these virtual staff. Virtual staff is a totally different experience because they're no longer working in that same office. They're not connecting with their coworkers. So smaller corporations who had to put all their team on virtual should all be looking for, hey, here's a team building activity we can do with our team. Even if you break them into smaller departments where you have a group of 50 that show up and you say, you know what? 10 are going over to this attraction. 10 are going over to that attraction. 10 are, so that you're separating them socially. Here's my favorite one. I want to know, can you change your way of thinking and not just do a team building activity in your building? You can do a Zoom call like this and do a team building activity on Zoom. Zoom has the ability, and so do several other platforms, we just happen to be on Zoom, of doing breakout rooms. So if I were doing a Zoom team building, I would say, okay, when I count to 3, we're going to break you off into different groups, and you're going to have a scavenger hunt and list 10 items that they have to find, and then we bring them back at the set time. Which team had it? What's the purpose of this? I could go on a list of 100 team building activities that you can do virtually. I saw a question pop in though, so I wanted to
there was so one really good question came in from Monira. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. Would in reference to the frontline worker nights or whatever, would customers be worried that we are inviting health workers as they are exposed to the virus, etc.?
Fantastic, amazing question. Thank you so much. I think you should give that person a prize. You add that
Okay, yeah, okay. Eric's been working hard, but sorry, I think we got the best question of the day.
So the question is, with the healthcare workers, what I would do is set up a separate time, either a before hour or an after hour party, so that as they're coming in, the public is gone and they do their after party and it's all exclusive to them, and then you do a deep clean after. Or open up earlier and do a private party just for them. So that was a great question. You will have some people who will say, oh, I don't know, they just had all the healthcare workers. So, and that's, by the way, that's also true with birthday parties. If I have a parent that requests, I would have a special early bird time slot for a totally exclusive birthday party. And you can charge a lot more for that.
Also, we have a question from Luis, where virtual team building. Luis, do you want to kind of say more about that? I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure what that question is.
He said, sorry. That's okay.
No, just, is it, where do you find activities for the team building?
Yeah, I just want to know exactly what you're asking. That's all. Yeah, he says, yeah.
Okay. If you want, send me an email afterwards. I'm putting together a handout just for friends that are looking for activities. I will give you some of the virtual team building activities. My gift to whoever needs it. It's not going to be in a pretty format, but it will be virtual team building activities.
So Sheryl contact will be in the email tomorrow as well. Sorry, Scott, what were you saying?
So the content will be important.
Yeah, it's the content. It's not the pretty. I'm not sending it out to my graphic designer. Sorry. It's just everybody has asked me over the last few days, and I randomly wrote down, I think 30 within a couple of hours. So that was a great question. Back to group sales for just a moment. I think that's where we were.
Yes.
Yeah. So just as if you were doing your regular group sales, you have a list of groups that you like to reach out to. Now is no different. You have to sit back and say, what problem do I solve? Eric asked it perfect. What problem do you solve? You know, it could be mom's night out. They've been stuck in the house with all the kids. It's time for them to get their own time out. You know, every now and then you used to do, some of the centers did parents' night out. You can either do that or you can do kids' night out where they're dropping the kids off and make a deal with a local restaurant where they can have a glass of wine while the kids are jumping. Or 2 wines or something stronger. So there's definitely opportunity. The FECs that I've been working with over the last few weeks are all starting to get calls, and their staff have been retrained on different ways to answer the group sales questions. Before we go any further, Al, can we do a family photo? Do you know what that is? He's
just everybody.
Where you put everybody in gallery mode. If you put everybody in gallery mode, everybody, this is your chance to be on their famous, like, oh my gosh, look at what we did. For all those who have been hiding, like Elise and Scott and Marjorie, put your cameras on for just a moment because we're going to have you do 2 thumbs up.
Make sure you're wearing proper clothing, please.
Oh, yeah. Nothing down below that, like when you.
This goes right there with the t-shirt. All right, there we go. We're still. All right, it's good to see everybody.
Hey, look at that.
A lot of good friends in here, and
everybody thumbs up.
All right.
Lots of great friends.
All right, so 3, 2, 1. Got it.
Yay. So now they have, this could be the Fun Spot Christmas card. You just never know. So that was awesome. I always like to have that. I know we're just doing our wrap up at this moment. If there are any other questions that people would like to ask, I'd be more than happy to answer anything. It has absolutely been my pleasure to work with this whole group. I know I've seen many of you on several different calls, different groups, different town halls. Thank you for putting the time and energy and effort into it. Know that we're here for you. We want to make sure that you succeed. There is nothing more important to us than your success. And you don't have to do this alone. You really don't. This is all about making you more comfortable and more successful when you go back to reopen. Scott, I know that you set this up. I know the one question that a couple people asked that we kind of ran out, ways to successfully reopen.
Yep.
Maybe you want to do that as a follow-up, and I can do a handout or something with the 5 key steps, or I don't want anybody to leave saying, she didn't get to my question.
Yeah, no, I know you have a lot of great content. I know you have some ebooks and some different things that are available. So, in the follow-up tomorrow, we'll make sure we share those. I know we have some prizes that we've sent out. Did you have something that you wanted to share that people have access to? Give them a key on what that's going to look like.
Absolutely. So here is my gift to everyone in this group, whether they started with us or they joined late. I created an ebook, Selling Fun in Not So Fun Times. It gives you probably 50 different ideas of things that we might not have covered. It gives a little bit more detail about the virtual birthday parties. It is totally free. Just hop on to my website, and the first page will give you a spot to download it. And I think Al's going to put the website in the chat box, maybe.
Yeah, that's already in there. Let me see here. Yeah. I'll get it in there, and it'll also be in the email as well. So
perfect.
Yeah, so that's great content. Cheryl's content is easy to read. It's extremely actionable. You can pick your one and go do it tomorrow. Really, most of the cost is your time and your engagement with the material, and then with your staff. I'll give it my seal of approval anyways.
Thank you.
Thank
you. That was really sweet. And my last parting words for everybody, if you've ever been to one of my sessions, you probably get tired of hearing this, but ideas are a dime a dozen. Implementation could be worth millions.
That's right.
So just coming on this is one thing, but you've got to pick one idea from all the ones you heard today that you're going to go back and actually do. That idea will just start, and after you do one, then you can do 2, but that's the most important thing. And I want to also give a huge, huge, huge thank you to Scott and Al and the team. It's been so amazing to work with at FunSpot. Been giving tons of information. So everybody, give them a big.
Thank you, guys.
I'll give myself a big round.
Again, thanks again, Sheryl. For those of you who are still on, as I've said, probably at the end of each of these, last week I think I was saying, hey, we've been doing this for 6 weeks. Well, I actually went back. This is our 9th town hall. Next week will be our 10th town hall. So we're going to do something special for our 10th town hall. So we'll have some things to give away, some real prizes. So hope that you'll join us for that. But then I've also realized that, because travel has been delayed, shows have been put off. Things that we would normally be at are no longer happening. The IATP in September, looks like IAPA in November will happen, but trying to figure out what that's all going to look like. So I do know on our calls, we have a number of vendor partners. Again, we are a family. We're a manufacturer that supplies different FECs and trampoline and adventure parks, but we partner with a number of great people that come on these calls who learn. And so if you are one of those people, email me, because I'm trying to put together some thoughts around what one of the next 1 or 2 calls might look like, where we could give you guys some opportunities, maybe in a networking type format to share what your products are. Again, there is opportunity to upgrade, upfit your parks in this environment that do create revenue as well. So we want to make sure that you also know what those resources are now, whether you use them now or you put them in your back pocket to use 6 or 12 months down the line. So you guys all have my information as far as vendor partners, but shoot me a note and let's see if we can't put something really awesome together. So again, next week, episode number 10, look forward to giving away some really fun prizes Al and I will put together. But other than that, hope Hope you guys have a great Tuesday afternoon, and thanks for your time.